Welcome back. This is Bernardi. It's that time of the show where we open up the mailbag and we read some viewer questions. Joining me tonight is the Herald Sun journalist and Sky News contributor, Caleb Bond. Caleb, great to have you on the show. You can guess what the avalanche of mail that's come in this week. It's all about the Liberals. And I'm going to kick it off with Anthony, who says, or asks, now that the moderate Liberals are gone, can the Liberals finally move right to the right under Dutton? What do you think about that, Caleb? Will Peter Dutton lead them to the right? Will he pursue a very measured course, or will they stay the lefty outfit that they've become?
Look, I think they have to take a measured course, and part of that is that you take in a more right-wing view. But of course, you can't go completely off the deep end, as it were. The Liberal Party has always been a broad church, and it should always remain a broad church. The risk is that you go too far in one direction. Now, to this point, as you say, they've gone too far to the left. Dutton's job is to try and centre the party back to where it once was. And if you look at the results that have come out of the election, the IPA did some analysis during the week which showed that 16 of the 20 poorest seats in the country are now held by the coalition, and 15 of the richest seats in the country are now held by the ALP. So that tells you exactly what has changed in terms of demographics. The Labor Party is no longer the Workers' Party. The Labor Party of old, which was traditional family conservative values mixed with economic values that serve workers, no longer exists. They now look after the elites, and the Liberal Party has to go into the suburbs and take those outer suburban seats that once would have been perfect Labor fare. That is the new Liberal Party. They're not going to pick up these inner city seats again.
Here's the thing, the lefties in the Liberal Party think they can go in and woo the elites and lever them off the Greens. I mean, they keep pushing, we need more women. But anecdotally in South Australia, the seat of Sturt, safe seat when Christopher Pyne left, they had a Trish Worth, who was a former female minister, said, now's not the right time to put a woman in. So they put James Stephens. Now you've got the safest seat in the state parliament, in Vicky Chapman, she's leaving, and the lefties who have the numbers there are putting a bloke in because they don't want to have another woman. It's not the right time. Again, they're just hypocrites, these lefties in the Liberal Party. Why would they pay any attention to them?
You're not accusing lefties of being hypocrites, are you, Cory? That doesn't sound like lefties. I mean, they are renowned for not putting their money... They're not renowned for putting their money where their mouths are. If you want to do something, you have to lead by example. And time again, it ends up being jobs for the boys. If you want to promote women, or you go around saying we need to promote women, promote women. Forget about quotas. I mean, that's the next thing is, we need quotas. The reason we need quotas is because the moderates who are in charge refuse to promote any women. You can't run around saying one thing and doing the other. You've actually got to lead by example, and lefties never, ever do. They love driving around in SUVs and saying, we've got to do something about climate change and, private planes and business class and all sorts of things. Someone else can do that.
Yeah. Don't talk, just do, lefties. Anyway. Okay, Tennille asks, after being trounced on Saturday night, who do you think the leader of the Nationals will be, or do you think Barnaby will be returned as leader? I'm putting my hand up. I think Barnaby's going to get it. What about you, Caleb?
I think they'd be silly to get rid of Barnaby at this point. I mean, the Nationals did not lose a single seat at this election. The Liberals, obviously, in other parts got wiped out, of course, in all the lefty electorates. What does that tell you? But the Nationals did not concede a seat, and in fact, in many of their seats, they had swings towards them. Now, any leader of a party who manages to hold on to all of their seats and achieve some swings towards them, you would think would be in a pretty good position to hold their position. Now, if they get rid of Barnaby Joyce and you end up with Darren Chester, Darren Chester's a nice enough bloke, and he is a good local member, but he is of the left of the National Party, and I fear that it would drag them in the wrong direction and send them the wrong way. You need someone strong who stands up for the regions like Barnaby Joyce, with someone strong who'll stand up for the country like Peter Dutton, and I think that creates quite a formidable coalition. If you've got someone from the right and someone from the left running two different parts of the coalition, I think you'll run into trouble.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, David asks, now that Albo is PM, don't you love Australia? Albo, it's just Albo. Now that Albo is PM, how far will the leftists will try to push their agendas? How much will it accelerate? And what will likely see and expect for the remainder of their term? Caleb, a big question. Do you reckon the hard left in the Labor Party are empowered by this, or do you think Albanese will continue in the relatively moderate strain that he's started?
Look, I'm sure the hard left is feeling empowered by this, but if Albanese wants any chance of hanging on to government in 3 years' time, he will have to remain a moderate leader and a moderate government. They will be looking very closely at those suburban results, and the suburban results would show that, even though Labor has formed government, possibly even in minority, they haven't actually got to the magical 76 yet. I think they're sitting at 75 seats at the moment. But that was hardly a resounding yes vote for the Labor Party. And so if they want to win again in 3 years' time, they have to shore up those suburban voters. And they're not going to do that if they go down the far left line.